You've tried everything to lose weight, yet you can't seem to figure it out. It's time to stop counting calories, slaving away on the treadmill, and looking for that next miracle diet. Your metabolism holds the key to your weight loss struggles. Metabolism experts might not agree on everything, but one fact holds true. The slower your metabolism, the harder it will be for you to lose weight. The good news is there are hundreds of ways to speed up your metabolism. Boosting your metabolism begins with getting rid of the foods that are responsible for slowing it down. Eliminating inflammatory foods is the first step to achieving effortless weight loss. Avoid these 7 foods or risk having a sluggish metabolism for the rest of your life. Number 1, edamame. I avoid soy and recommend all of my clients and customers do the same. Not just because I have a personal vendetta against it or just because, rather because it's bad news for your body. Over 90% of the soybeans grown in the US are genetically modified, so most soy protein comes from altered beans. That means most soy is chemically modified, processed, and filled with pesticide. Aside from the majority of soy being genetically modified, here are 5 other reasons to reconsider your soy consumption. Soy contains anti-metabolic factors such as saponins, soyatoxin, phytates, protease inhibitors, oxalates, goitrogens, and estrogens. Some of these factors interfere with the enzymes you need to digest protein, and protein, as we know, is one of the best fat-burning foods. Soy contains hemagglutinin, a clot-promoting substance that causes your red blood cells to clump together. These clump cells are unable to properly absorb and distribute oxygen to your tissues. And if you can't get oxygen to your muscle tissue is metabolically active tissue, meaning that is fat-burning tissue. Soy contains goitrogens, which are substances that block the synthesis of thyroid hormones and interfere with iodine metabolism, thereby interfering with your thyroid function. And that T3 is a very important fat-burning hormone. Soy contains phytates, or phytic acid, which bind to metal ions, preventing the absorption of certain minerals, including calcium, magnesium, iron, and zinc, all of which are cofactors for optimal biochemistry in your body. This is particularly problematic for vegetarians because eating meat reduces the mineral blocking effects of these phytates. So it is helpful if you do eat soy to also eat red meat. And finally, soy contains isoflavones, genistein, and daidzein, which can affect and inhibit thyroid peroxidase, which is necessary for the production of T3 and T4. Soy not delicious. And soy not a food to expose your delicate metabolism to. But fret not, you can reverse the damage done by eating soy. Next food on the list, canola oil. Canola oil, aka rapeseed oil, is another heavily genetically modified food. Developed through the hybridization of rapeseed, canola oil is actually a delicate oil that turns rancid very quickly. That's why the vegetable industry has a little known trick they don't want to make public. Deodorizers are typically used in the making of canola oil. Rancid oil isn't the equivalent of stale bread or a rotten tomato. It just means that oil is oxidized. Oxidation is bad news for the health of your cells. And unhappy cells equals an unhappy metabolism. In your body, oxidized means damage to the cells and tissues, especially to the areas rich in fat like your brain. You know what happens when an apple is exposed to air? Oxidation is a process that turns it brown and makes it go bad. If you eat vegetable oils that are already oxidized from heat and light in processing, you are exposing your own healthy tissues to a volatile substance which will damage them. Oxidation is not only a major contributor into most degenerative diseases, it also causes inflammation. Excess inflammation in the body can cause anything from arthritis to more serious diseases like Parkinson's, bipolar mood disorders, schizophrenia, and obsessive compulsive disorders. Canola oil is also 25% polyunsaturated fat, the most dangerous fatty acid for the health of your metabolism. Here's why. 5 quick facts about polyunsaturated fats. I'm going to call them PUFAs. PUFA inhibit glucose from entering the cell, causing cell damage and accelerated cell aging. PUFA slow down your metabolic rate, which equals hypothyroid and lowered metabolism. PUFA cause insulin resistance, which is the precursor to diabetes. PUFAs are used by 99% of restaurants in the US in the form of soybean, peanut, and canola oil. And finally, PUFAs increase the amount of estrogen in the body, leaving consequences for both men and women. Contrary to popular belief, unsaturated vegetable oils are toxic to the body and should be avoided if your goal is optimal health. A strong mindset for transformation will be more easily attainable when the body is functioning at its peak. If you've been eating canola or similar oils for a significant portion of your life, you shouldn't wait a second longer to switch over to more stable, low oxidized oil. It'll take some time and effort, but you can eliminate these toxic oils from your body. Food number 3, cereal. The only thing healthy about cereal these days is the toy inside, but I would suggest buying a toy without the cereal. Generic cereals are usually made from the genetically modified grains, wheat, or corn. Since the processing of cereal destroys any naturally occurring vitamins and minerals, most cereals are enriched and fortified with synthetic nutrients that our bodies don't even recognize. Next time you're at the grocery store, turn around a few random cereal boxes and you're guaranteed to find most of them located with either high fructose corn syrup, sugar, and or artificial sweeteners, genetically altered vegetable oils like canola, soybean, and corn, and preservatives, additives, colorings, thickeners, binders, and dyes. Not ingredients you'd want to put in your or your child's delicate bodies. The other problem with cereal is very poor quality or completely lack of protein. Spiking your blood sugar first thing in the morning without adequate protein and fat is a recipe for insulin resistance and developing a fat storing body. To top it off, people use conventionally fed milk to eat cereal, which multiplies the potential negative consequences and inflammation caused by cereal. Let's explore next why pasteurized dairy makes this list of foods that are slowing down your metabolism. Pasteurization is a process that heats liquids in foods to kill viruses and harmful organisms. In theory, it sounds like a great invention and kills harmful bacteria that can make you sick. Unfortunately, pasteurized dairy is still making you sick. What you haven't been told is that raw milk, the milk before pasteurization, is completely harmless to the majority of the population. In other words, milk only does a body good in its raw, unpasteurized from organic grass-fed cows. Pasteurization destroys active enzymes in milk, diminishes the vitamin content, denatures or kills fragile milk proteins, and kills beneficial bacteria. Everything healthy about milk is destroyed through the process of pasteurization, leaving you with a dead food that can cause inflammation. An inflamed body leads to a sluggish metabolism, which leads to a host of problems, including weight gain, fatigue, and bad skin. Besides destroying part of the vitamin C contained in raw milk and encouraging growth of harmful bacteria, pasteurization turns the sugar of milk known as lactose into beta-lactose, which is far more soluble and therefore more rapidly absorbed in the body. Combine this sugar milk with cereal and you essentially are eating a bowl of sugar or high fructose corn syrup with very little nutrition. The Weston A. Price Foundation has even linked pasteurized milk to health problems including allergies, increased tooth decay, colic in infants, growth problems in children, osteoporosis, arthritis, heart disease, and even cancer. Raw dairy products from cows eating fresh grass, not silage, contain plenty of essential fatty acids, substances that can help you build muscle mass and lose body fat, provide probiotics to your microflora, keeping your immune system strong, and provides vital proteins, nutrients, and minerals to help keep your metabolism fast throughout the day. Next on our list, we have whole wheat bread. I bet you didn't know that whole wheat bread can spike your blood sugar levels more than a Kit Kat bar. Before you say, give me a break, let me explain. Whole grain bread does not actually have whole grains in it. Flour is formed in the process where grains are broken down into a powder from powder-like flour. Since it is powder form, the body can rapidly digest the bread and let it enter the bloodstream as glucose. This raises fat-producing hormone known as insulin. Whole grain bread even has a higher GI or glycemic index score than most candy bars such as Snickers. The starches in bread get broken down quickly in the digestive tract and enter the bloodstream as glucose. This causes a rapid spike in blood sugar and insulin levels, eventually increasing your appetite. This causes a perpetual cycle of eating, getting hungry, then eating again. If this insulin-resistant creating effect wasn't bad enough, bread contains a lot of gluten. This protein has glue-like properties, hence the gluten, responsible for dough's sticky properties. Evidence is mounting that a significant percentage of the population is sensitive to gluten, which causes inflammation throughout the body. The perfect cocktail for a slow metabolism. Wait, I'm not done. Processed breads, all bread, contain chemicals, preservatives, sugar, or high fructose corn syrup that can overload your liver. Most grains also include the anti-nutrient phytic acid. Phytic acid is a molecule that strongly binds essential minerals like calcium, iron, and zinc, preventing them from being absorbed. Most people stuck on the soy bandwagon are consuming far more phytate by the sheer volume through mass consumption of things like soy milk, tofu, cereals, processed foods, soy oil, and soy lecithin, both common ingredients in many breads. To top it all off, bread isn't a very nutrient-dense food. There is no nutrient in bread that you can't get from other foods in even greater amounts. Whole wheat bread will literally reduce the absorption of nutrients from other foods. By damaging the intestinal lining, gluten decreases the absorption of all nutrients. Calorie for calorie, whole grain bread contains a low amount of nutrients compared to real foods like vegetables. Food number 6 to stay away from: margarine. Margarine is essentially vegetable oil. Vegetable oils have high concentration of polyunsaturated fats, and we already know how bad those are. They are very unstable when stored for long periods of time and exposed to light. A diet high in polyunsaturated fats forces the body to incorporate these unstable fats into your cells, which produces inflammation and cell mutation, resulting in a variety of health problems. There are a myriad of unhealthy components to margarine, including trans fats. These unnatural fats in margarine, shortenings and spreads, are formed during the process of hydrogenization, which turns liquid vegetable oils into a solid fat. Trans fats contribute to heart disease, cancer, bone problems, hormone imbalances, and skin disease, infertility, difficulties in pregnancy, problems with lactation, low birth weight, and growth problems and learning disabilities in children. Next, free radicals. Free radicals and other toxic breakdown products are the result of high temperature industrial processing of vegetable oils. They contribute to numerous health problems, including cancer and heart disease. They have synthetic vitamins. Synthetic vitamin A and other vitamins are added to margarine and spreads. These often have an opposite and detrimental effect compared to natural vitamins in butter, for example. They have emulsifiers and preservatives. Numerous additives of questionable safety are added to margarines and spreads. Most vegetable shortenings stabilize with preservatives like BHT, hexane, and other solvents used in the extraction process. These industrial chemicals can have toxic effects. Finally, they have mono and diglycerides. These contain trans fats that manufacturers do not have to list on the label. They are used in high amounts in so-called low trans spreads. Margarine is a manufactured food product. It was never designed to be healthy, nutritious, or beneficial. It was designed to be an imitation, an inexpensive substitute. And finally, whey protein powders. I used to be one of those nutritionists that thought protein shakes were the ultimate must-have for fitness success, until I actually researched what was in them. Don't you ever think, seriously, how did my chicken breast get into powder form? Well, processing and refinement, that's the answer. But at what cost? The cost of your health. Most protein powders and shakes are derived from conventionally fed animals, meaning these animals are mistreated, stressed out, fed genetically altered grains like corn, soy, and grain, and the protein quality is much lower than that of an organic, grass-fed, pasture-raised animal. If the powder protein source isn't coming from a conventionally fed animal, it is coming from GMO soy, which is an even worse option. Just like all the other processed foods, products like these contain preservatives, synthetic vitamins, flavor enhancers, and unnatural ingredients that generally do not promote health. To avoid the inflammatory, metabolism-lowering result of eating poor quality whey protein powders, opt for a grass-fed whey, egg white protein, or rice hemp-based options, and definitely collagen. If you aren't quite sure if your metabolism is slow or not from eating inflammatory foods or other things, learn how you can assess your metabolism by taking my 10-minute metabolism audit. Just comment below audit, and I'll send you a link so you can download it. There you'll be able to ask yourself a few questions, look at a few symptoms, and also I have more information on how to eat for a metabolism-focused diet, and it's even better, it's absolutely free. So, were you surprised to learn about any of these foods? I hope you enjoyed this video. If you learned anything, hit that like button, and if you learned 2 things, then subscribe to my channel for more tips. Thanks.